Welcome to our channel. Fans accuse Jacques Nienaber of being hugely overrated as flack continues to fly over Leinster's semi-final loss. Leo Cullen hasn't been the only Leinster coach heavily criticized for Saturday's spectacular Champions Cup elimination by Northampton, as Jacques Nienaber has also been sharply rebuked. The Irish province was heavily tipped to advance to their fourth successive final, but this expectation that they would be running out in Cardiff on May 24th was scuppered by their 34-37 Aviva Stadium loss to the visiting Saints. The defeat was the first time since the January 2016 10-51 six-try pool stage hammering at Wasps that Leinster had conceded 5 tries in Europe, and the recriminations were immediate. Head coach Cullen had his reputation shredded online, with numerous fans calling for him to be sacked rather than continue at Leinster, where he is contracted until the summer of 2027. Mainstream media also didn't pull their punches. For example, Cullen awoke on Monday morning to this damaging Irish Times headline: Leo Cullen under scrutiny after Leinster loss to Northampton. However, fans disgruntled by Leinster's failure to stay for their first Champions Cup title since the 2018 final win over Racing 92 in Bilbao also aimed at defence guru Nienaber, the South African who helped the Springboks to back-to-back Rugby World Cup triumphs. Nienaber's first European campaign as the senior Leinster coach under head coach Cullen ended in an extra-time defeat in the 2024 final versus Toulouse in London, but expectations that the Irish side would learn from that setback and do better in 2025 came unstuck at the semi-final stage. The Nienaber defence had drawn compliments for the way it shut out Harlequins in Glasgow, preventing those teams from scoring any points in the respective recent round of 16 and quarter-final fixtures, but the defensive approach under the South African was massively criticized on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, following Northampton's 5-try ambush. Conor Furlong removing Cullen, but leaving Nienaber there would make little to no difference. Doing that could actually make it worse if they were to go even further down the Nienaber rabbit hole. My preference is removing Nienaber and getting Lancaster back. Nienaber is not interested in playing with the ball. Lancaster was. Nienaber is the problem. They have been a shadow of the team they were because of him. Nienaber's defensive system torn a second one, thank God, and that's coming from a Leinster fan. Now we can go back to something that suits our overall attacking style. When that system goes wrong, it goes haywire big time. Eugene Dugan, not sure Nienaber was the answer. Seems to have killed some of the Leinster creativity. Worried with the decline of the other 3 provinces and the inability of Leinster to win the Heineken again. Are we on the slide? Carl Brophy. Nienaber's defence and Leinster's lack of pace in scramble compared to SA was found out when Saints were able to go through a few phases and back their skills. Demand Jacques Nienaber. You were supposed to fix the defence. You didn't. But you destroyed our attack. The Duke 1977 Leinster are pathologically unable to finish off big games that are close in the dying minutes. Doris, poor captaincy. The Nienaber bomb squad acquisition policy exposed, and the Johnny Sexton shepherding Leinster players into the Lions project looks woefully misjudged. Responding to a post on highlighting Leinster had a tackle success of just 58%, Coolbrough wrote not blaming Nienaber, but their defence was definitely not good. Endo might tether the system they played with fast wingers and strong defensive centres doesn't work with Leinster. Why Nienaber persists with it when it doesn't fit his team? Geordie Barrett fits that system more than anyone too, which makes it even more baffling a decision. This Nienaber defense doesn't work. Get rid of him. Nienaber is hugely overrated. Just lucky he's coaching the best players in the world with SA. He has been shown up in this crunch game. Greg O'Brien not good enough. Geordie a spectator for one half-game bad decision and bomb squad mentality. Building a lead is preferable. Too often Saints broke tackles to gain a metre or 2. Lineout was poor and rolling maul failed. Nienaber defence doesn't suit. We have lost pace. Damien Lynch. Nienaber's defensive system was dismantled by Northampton. They did their homework excellently, and the well-drilled players executed. That led to the disastrous defensive statistics more than any individual player mistakes or lack of hunger. Fair dues Northampton.